Okay, so welcome to the next lesson in our encoding with Roblox. Now, what we're going to be building up today is we're going to be introducing a new concept, and that is if statements. So what this essentially means is if something happens, then do this. If it does not happen, then do this. Now, there's three projects that we're going to be building out with this. In this video, we're only going to be focusing on the first one, and that is building out landmines. There's a lot we can do with this later on, combine it with other code, but for now, I'm just going to show you what we're going to do here. So, first thing is I am just going to throw myself in the lava, just so you can see the difference. And okay, so what happens when you hit the lava is each part of your body that hits the lava will slowly melt into, will slowly be destroyed step by step. So, for example, if your foot hits the lava, then your foot is gone, but the rest of your body is still here. Now, just let me grab this over there, and I'm going to be dying a bit now. Bro, play here. Okay. The landmine is going to work a bit different though. So keep in mind what happened with the lava, and then what do you think is going to happen when I step on this? Everything explodes. Like, I'm disintegrated straight away. Even if I just barely graze it. There, like that. Now, if this was the lava, just my arm would be gone and I'd still be running around. But yeah, it's the landmine. So this is what we're going to be building out. However, this is the key difference. What I have here is this is another landmine, but it has things on top of it. Now, these parts are not anchored. Now, if this was the lava, these things would be destroyed. However, if I jump on this now, I now die. So what is happening here is this landmine will only kill things that are humanoid. So the players, the zombies, things like that. Everything else is fine. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this. So what we need to do is we need to check, we essentially just need to check if the thing touching this is a character. That's it. Now, what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to introduce if statements to you. So this is my test part. So I'm just going to go to this, and that is what we're building out. So that is not what I'm going to show you. Now, if statements are quite easy to write. The first thing that you will need is you will need the if keyword like this. Okay. Now, how they work is they compare two things. So you have one thing you're comparing, then how you're comparing it, and then the second thing that you're comparing it to. So I'll give you a really simple example here. So if I say 10, that's the first thing I'm comparing. Now, the next thing is going to be how you're comparing it. So I want to say equals equals. Now, one equal sign in Lua means is the same as. Okay? No, sorry. Sorry, my bad. One equal sign in Lua means is a. So, for example, we use this when we're creating variables. So just do a quick one here. Local name equals Fred. Okay, so name is a Fred. Two equal signs, what this means is the same as. So what I would say here is, I would say if 10 is the same as 10, then, now the keyword then essentially just means if these two things are the same, then we want to do something. So what I'm just going to do here, and please follow this along, is just print out they are the same, like that. Okay, nice and easy. So if you run that, then this will be the same. So just run, and there we see it. They are the same. Okay. Now let's go back a sec. Now there's a few different ways we can compare this here. Now, if we wanted to say a different way of comparing something, if we wanted to say greater than, we would put the greater than symbol here. Okay. How I like to remember this is hold up your hands to your face, and your right hand is the greater than, and then your left hand is the lesser than symbol. But that's just me anyway. Now, this actually will not run. And the reason it won't run is because 10 is not greater than 10. So 10 and 10 is the same, but 10 is not greater than 10. So if I run this now, we don't see anything. It's not there because that is not true. So this is the power of if statements. So if I were to say if 10 is greater than 5, let's run that. They are the same. I know they're not the same, but the print statement runs anyway. So that bit of code, that gets printed out now. So now I can do the opposite. So let's do 5 is less than 10. So let's run that now. Brill, they are the same. Okay. Now, your sort of challenge here is, let me show you a few other things before I give you a little challenge. Now, it doesn't just work with numbers. What we can do is we can say if Fred is the same as Fred, okay, then run this. They are the same. There we go. Right, now, let's go back. Fred. Well, right. Now, the only other thing you've got to be, there's two more things I want to show you with if statements first. Now, first of all is that in Lua, in robots coding, capital letters and lowercase letters, they're treated as different things. So if I run this now, this code will not run because small case f and high case f, they're treated as different things. The other thing is I could put in variables like this. So I could do name here. So we have if Fred is equal to name and Fred is inside name. So that should then be the same as well. So before we do anything else, your little challenge is to see if you can write 5 if statements, just comparing anything that you want. So get into the habit of doing this because we're going to be doing this a lot. So just nice and quick, just create a script anywhere in your code and then just write 5 if statements. They don't all have to be true. Try the greater than symbol, try the lesser than symbol. See if you can get them all printing out and then see if you can get like 3 of them printing out. So 3 that are true and 3 that aren't, and then 2 that are not true, okay? Now, once you've done that, come back to the screen and I'll show you through the next bit. Welcome back. So before we go on, there's one other small thing that I wanted to show you with if statements. Now, there's another way we can use if statements, and this is going to be really important to what we're doing here. What this is if we have one thing on its own, then what this will do is this will check to see if there's anything inside this variable. So right now, Fred is inside name, so this will run because there's something inside it, okay? If I were to do this, now what nil means is it creates the variable, but there's nothing inside it. It's very similar to having like a sandwich box in your fridge with no food inside it. It creates the space in memory, but there's nothing inside it, okay? This will then be false, so this code will then not run. And the reason it won't run is because there's nothing inside this here. So if you want this code to run, then you have to put like some kind of variable inside it. Now, this is what we're going to be doing to make the landmine. Now, how do we make the landmine? How do we get the good stuff going? So what we'll do is just delete your code here. And what you're going to do is you are going to make a part where you want your landmine to go, create a script, go into the script, and the first thing we're going to need is a variable. And we're going to bring in this, this part. So I'm going to call this landmine equals scripts.parent, just to get in all of the properties here that we need. We've done this before. You know how to do it. The next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make a function. Now, this function should always call it what it's doing, and I'm just going to call this boom, okay? Because that's what it's doing. It's going boom. Now I will do parentheses, brackets, and then the first thing I'm going to do, I always like to do this, is I like to connect these two things together. And the reason I like to do this is because I forget. So, and then I'm looking through my code, trying to figure out why it's gone wrong, and I just forgot to connect them together. So we're going to connect this with landmine. Then we want to say if somebody touches the landmine, so we want an action, connect it to the function we just created, the boom function. Now, if you remember our last class, what is going to happen here with the arguments and parameters, we need a place to say, in fact, right, an easy way to explain this, I need to grab a zombie and we need to look inside the zombie. So zombie, yeah, let's get a zombie in there. Because this is to do with how we check if the humanoid is there. So not a mesh, I want a model. Drooling zombie, perfect. Bro. Right, where is that zombie? In here, right, okay. You guys don't have to do this. I'm just going to explain a few things to you. Now, if you open the drooling zombie, this is what it looks like. So we have some sound effects, we have the colors, we have the humanoid. That's going to be really important. Keep an eye on that because that's where everything like the health, the size, all the good stuff happens in the humanoid. Then we have the head and different parts of the torso and yeah, all that good stuff. Now, whatever touches our landmine, we essentially will be saved into our parameter. So how this is going to work is we are going to say, dear computer, whatever touches our landmine is going to be saved into our parameter here inside our function. So I'm going to call this one other part. Okay, like that. Now, what we need to do here is we need to check what this is. The reason why is the health lives in the humanoid bit here. But the health does, let's say, for example, the left leg is the thing that's touching the landmine. There's nothing that we can do with that. The health does not live in the left leg. So what we need to do first is we need to get the parent information of that, of whatever is touching it. So we're going to go up one level and grab all the files here and then save that to a variable. Now, how we will do this is we'll create a variable. So local, and I'm going to call this one character, because that's what we're doing. We're creating a variable that's going to store all the character information. Equals, and then we're going to say the parameter name, other part, and then we're going to say dot parent. Now, you probably saw that Lua did not help me out, like sort of recommending anything here. And the reason why it's done that is because parameters will stay empty until they're filled. So this parameter will stay empty until something touches the landmine. So Lua doesn't know what to recommend to you, and that's just why it's not helping you here. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back to our drooling zombie. So we've got everything in the drooling, we've got everything in the character here. And then what we need to do is we need to find if this thing has a humanoid part here, a humanoid file. So how we're going to do that is we're going to create another variable first. So local, and I'm going to call this humanoid because that's what we're looking for. We need this humanoid equals, and then I'm going to say character because we want to look inside this character variable. And then what we need is we are going to be using a very special function that's built into Lua. So its function, we need to stick it on this with a colon. Now, this is going to be a very, very long function. And the important part to remember here is every single word in this function will have a capital letter. So please remember that. So the function that we're going to use is this one, find with a capital F first, with another capital F, child, which is and then parentheses, then the brackets. So find first child, which is Now, just a reminder, anything inside a part is classed as a child. children. So this drilling zombie part has many, many children. Anything that is holding all of these parts is classed as the parent. That's why we can say parent here, and it grabs all the information. So what this code is doing is essentially it's saying go through all of these files, whatever's touching it, and find the very first thing that is a humanoid. So what we're going to put in the brackets here is what we are looking for. Now I have to use speech marks here because it's just looking at the names. So now I'm going to say humanoid, like that. Please check the spelling. Please make sure the capital letters are there because it's very important. Now, once we have that, what we then get to do is we are then going to use our if statement. And all we have to do, like what we did before, we just want to check if there's anything inside humanoid. If it finds a humanoid, then we want to blow it up. If there's nothing in there, then we leave it. Then we can leave it on the landmine. It won't do anything. So what we're going to say is if humanoid, then, so if there's anything in humanoid, then we want to do something. And what we want to do is we want to say humanoid dot health equals 0. Okay. Now let me test that. Let's see if that works. Oh, let me get rid of the zombie first because I don't want to be chased. Let's play. There we go. That's working now. Brilliant. So the reason why humanoid, we'll be using humanoid a lot in our different parts because all the good stuff about the character lives inside the humanoid, the health, the size, everything. So what we've essentially said here is go to we've got the humanoid from the character, and then we just set the health to 0, and that then disintegrates the whole thing. Now, your challenge is to do this. Coming up next, what we have is we have a teleport system, and we have a door that has many locks. So all of these will be a portal, essentially, that you can only open with different keystones. So both are going to be really good projects, but please, please, please practice this structure here, checking if it is a humanoid and they're doing something. We will be using this structure in the next 5 or 6 projects. It's a very, very important one. Right, so on that bombshell, I will see you in the next one.